Good evening. This is All India Radio. I am Valsa Williams with the news at 9. The headlines. Parliament approves Union Budget for 2023-24 with Lok Sabha clearing the Finance Bill as amended by the Rajya Sabha. Union Health Secretary holds a meeting with State Health Secretaries to review the preparedness for Influenza and COVID-19. Country's exports in merchandise and services to peak at $750 billion by 2022-23, says Minister Anupriya Patel. Supreme Court allows reservation for other backward classes in the upcoming urban local body elections in Uttar Pradesh. First Trade and Investment Working Group meeting under India's G20 Presidency to begin in Mumbai tomorrow. Parliament completed the budgetary exercise for the year 2023-24 today, with the Lok Sabha approving the Finance Bill 2023 amended by the Rajya Sabha amid opposition's protest and sloganeering. Rajya Sabha today returned the Finance Bill 2023 amid din without discussion. The Lok Sabha had cleared the Finance Bill last week amid continuous protest by the opposition parties and sent it to the Rajya Sabha. A report.
The stalemate continued in both houses of parliament for the 10th consecutive day today on various issues. In Rajya Sabha, when the house met after the first adjournment at 2 p.m., Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman moved the finance bill. Members from Congress and AAP were in the well, demanding joint parliamentary committee probe into the Adani Group issue. Members from TMC, BRS, DMK, Left and others were also on their feet. Amid ruckus, the upper house took up the bill, which was returned to the Lok Sabha with one amendment. The House returned the Finance Bill 2023, the Appropriation Bills 2023 and Jammu Kashmir Appropriation Bills 2023 with a voice vote without discussion. Chairman Jagdeep Dhankar expressed his disappointment over the continuous disruptions in the House.
Honorable members, it is unfortunate that 10 hours that were given for discussion on this have not been availed. It is most unfortunate. This is a theatre for discussion, debate, to put across points that matter in larger public interest.
As pandemonium continued, Chairman adjourned the House for the day. In Lok Sabha, when the House reassembled at 4 p.m. after the first adjournment, opposition members again trooped into the well of the House and continued sloganeering, pressing their demand. After approving Finance Bill 2023 amended by the Rajya Sabha, Lok Sabha was adjourned for the day. Unpermished, AI News, Delhi.
The Centre today reviewed public health preparedness for management of COVID-19 and vaccination progress with states in view of the upsurge in COVID-19 cases. Union Health Secretary Rajesh Bhushan chaired a high-level meeting through video conference with states and union territories. He cautioned them against any complacency and advised them to follow up on the priorities listed in the joint advisory issued by Department of Health Research and Department of Health and Family Welfare. He stressed on ramping up testing with higher proportion of RT-PCR and whole genome sequencing of positive samples. In the meeting, member Health Niti Aayog, Dr. V.K. Paul, highlighted the need for increased vigil due to the prevalence of new variants and vaccine immunity across the country. He urged states to increase the coverage of precaution dose among the population. The Rural Development Ministry will sign an MOU with 19 captive employers tomorrow and provide them with the target to train and provide employment to over 31,000 rural poor youth under the Deen Dayal Upadhyay Gramin Kaushalya Yojana. They will provide employment with a minimum salary of 10,000 rupees per month for a minimum period of 6 months. The basic objective of this scheme is to provide gainful placement in a sustainable manner to rural youth. The MOU will be signed at a function in New Delhi tomorrow in the presence of Rural Development and Panchayati Raj Minister Giriraj Singh. On the occasion, Mr. Singh will also distribute appointment letters to a few candidates who had got similar training under the scheme and were placed with captive employers. The captive employment model allows the employer to select rural youth, skill and deploy them in one of its own establishments or subsidiaries. Minister of State for Commerce and Industry Anupriya Patel has said the country's exports in merchandise and services would peak at $750 billion by 2022-23 as against over $650 billion in 2021-22. Ms. Patel inaugurated the 23rd edition of India Soft at Pragati Maidan in New Delhi today. She lauded the country's research and development professionals for developing and perfecting over 70 new products that will be launched at India Soft. She added it reflects the country's achievements in the digital space and amplifies its resolution to become a developed country by 2047. The minister said India will also share the technologies and devices developed with countries desirous of acquiring them. Civil Aviation Minister Jyotiraditya Scindia today virtually inaugurated a direct international flight between Amritsar and Gatwick in England. The non-stop flight between Amritsar and Gatwick will be operated by Air India. Speaking on the occasion, Mr. Scindia said this new international connectivity will work as a catalyst for the development of the region. He said lakhs of people from Punjab live in the UK and this new service will connect families living in two different countries.
अमृतसर, जिसका अर्थ होता है अमृत का एक कुंड, इस अमृतसर की आन बान और शान विश्व व्यापक करने के लिए आज एक नई विमान सेवा अमृतसर से गैटविक तक, इंग्लैंड तक जुड़ाने की सेवा प्रारंभ आज की गई है। हफ्ते में 3 दिन ये विमान सेवा चलेगी। ये तीसरा इंग्लैंड के साथ कनेक्टिविटी होगा अमृतसर का। 6 अंतर्राष्ट्रीय गंतव्य जुड़ चुके हैं और अमृतसर की कनेक्टिविटी इसके आधार पर और बढ़ पाएगी।
Etihad Airways has made a highly anticipated return to Kolkata in West Bengal after resuming daily non-stop services that will connect the city with the rest of the world via Abu Dhabi. Etihad Airways passengers flying from Kolkata to the United States can also take advantage of the U.S. Customs and Border Protection Facility in Abu Dhabi International Airport, the only U.S. immigration pre-clearance service in the region. This service enables passengers to clear U.S. immigration while still in Abu Dhabi. This is All India Radio giving you the news. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts. All India Radio is presenting a vignette of select quotes of the Prime Minister from Man Ki Baat as the program completes its 100th episode in April this year. Today we present excerpts from the series in which the Prime Minister came down heavily on corruption.
People, voice and direct dialogue. That's your and our Man Ki Baat. Yes, this is how our Prime Minister connects with millions of countrymen. With the program Man Ki Baat, aired on the last Sunday of every month on All India Radio. This series, which started on October 3rd, 2014, will complete its 100th episode in April 2023. In this 26th episode, let's listen to those excerpts of Man Ki Baat in which the Prime Minister came down heavily on corruption. On taking charge at the centre, the Prime Minister promised the nation to put a leash on the corrupt. He said, neither will I misappropriate, nor will I let anyone else embezzle. He vowed to crack down on corruption at every level in the government machinery. He repeated this pledge of his in the Man Ki Baat episode, broadcast on 27th November 2016, when he said,
अभी भी कुछ लोगों को लगता है कि ये भ्रष्टाचार के पैसे, ये काले धन, ये बेहिसाबी पैसे, ये बेनामी पैसे, कोई न कोई रास्ता खोज करके व्यवस्था में फिर से ला दूं। वो अपने पैसे बचाने के फिराक में गैर कानूनी रास्ते ढूंढ रहे हैं। दुख की बात यह है कि इसमें भी उन्होंने गरीबों का उपयोग करने का रास्ता चुनने का पसंद किया है। गरीबों को भ्रमित कर, लालच या प्रलोभन की बातें करके, उनके खातों में पैसे डाल करके या उनसे कोई काम करवा करके पैसे बचाने की कुछ लोग कोशिश कर रहे हैं। मैं ऐसे लोगों से आज कहना चाहता हूं, सुधरना न सुधरना आपकी मर्जी, कानून का पालन करना न करना आपकी मर्जी, वो कानून देखेगा क्या करना, लेकिन मेहरबानी करके आप गरीबों की जिंदगी के साथ मत खेलिए।
The Supreme Court today allowed reservation for other backward classes OBCs in the upcoming urban local body elections in Uttar Pradesh and directed the State Election Commission to release a notification regarding the same. The Uttar Pradesh government had submitted a report regarding the issue to the Apex Court after a 5-member committee set up by it looked into the matter. Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath said his government is committed to conducting urban local body elections while following the reservation rules for other backward castes. The government has constituted a committee to monitor the stock of tur held by entities such as importers, millers, stockists and traders in close coordination with the state governments. The decision has come against the backdrop of reports of market players not releasing stocks despite the regular arrival of imports in good quantities. The Consumer Affairs, Food and Public Distribution Ministry said the committee has been constituted under the chairmanship of Additional Secretary Nidhi Khare. The ministry said the government is closely watching the stock position of other pulses in the domestic market to take necessary preemptive measures in the event of an unwarranted price rise in the coming months. The G20 member countries today made presentations on their best practices about water resources management on the first day of the second Environment and Climate Sustainability Working Group meeting, which is being held under India's G20 presidency. The 3-day meeting has been organized at Mahatma Mandir Convention and Exhibition Centre at Gandhinagar in Gujarat. Around 130 delegates from G20 member countries, along with 11 invitee countries and 14 international organizations, are participating in the 3-day event. The meeting focuses on thematic areas like arresting land degradation, accelerating ecosystem restoration and enriching biodiversity, encouraging resource efficiency and circular economy, and promoting a sustainable and climate-resilient blue economy. More from our correspondent.
As part of the meeting, an excursion and site visit was organized for the delegates to witness a mix of modernity and tradition of the country. The delegates were taken on an excursion to Adalat Stepwell, where they witnessed the country's ancient water management practices. Besides, they also visited Sabarmati Siphon for a demonstration of India's engineering prowess. Later, they were taken on a site visit to Sabarmati riverfront to witness the wastewater management practices. Anand Kumar for AIR News, Ahmedabad.
The first meeting of the G20 Trade and Investment Working Group will begin in Mumbai tomorrow. Over 100 delegates from G20 member countries, invitee countries, regional groupings and international organizations will engage in deliberations to accelerate global trade and investments. More from our Mumbai correspondent.
The 3-day meeting of G20 Trade and Investment Working Group is scheduled between 28th to 30th of March in Mumbai. Union Commerce Secretary Sunil Barthwal has said that the priority issues of this meeting are trade for growth and prosperity, trade and resilient global value chain, integrating MSMEs in global trade and logistics for trade. Jeevan Bhavsar, AIR News, Mumbai.
The India Meteorological Department IMD has said that a fresh spell of rainfall with thunderstorm and hailstorm will be observed over northwest India from Wednesday night.
During 30th and 31st March, we are expecting rain associated with thunderstorms, hailstorms and squalls at some places with wind speed reaching up to 30 to 40 kmph over the plains of northwest India, including Punjab, Haryana, Uttar Pradesh, northern parts of Madhya Pradesh, Chandigarh, Delhi, in association with an approaching western disturbance. The hills of northwest India, this is Jammu and Kashmir, Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand, are also expected to experience the adverse weather due to this western disturbance.
In an advisory, the IMD cautioned the farmers to postpone harvesting of matured crops in the northwest states of the country. It also advised to drain out excess water from crop fields. IMD said no heat wave is likely over any part of the country during the next 5 days. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Parliament approves Union Budget for 2023-24 with Lok Sabha clearing the Finance Bill as amended by the Rajya Sabha. Union Health Secretary holds a meeting with State Health Secretaries to review the preparedness for Influenza and COVID-19. Country's exports in merchandise and services to peak at $750 billion by 2022-23, says Minister Anupriya Patel. Supreme Court allows reservation for other backward classes in the upcoming urban local body elections in Uttar Pradesh. and first Trade and Investment Working Group meeting under India's G20 presidency to begin in Mumbai tomorrow. That is all in the news at 9. Good night.